Hi there. So in this video, I want to talk about what actually is causing you to gain weight as you go through the perimenopause and even through the menopause. Because it's really good to know what the facts are, because that can make it a lot clearer in your own mind about what's changing, and that in that way it makes it easier for you to understand and know what really makes a difference and what's really worth doing if you find that you're putting on weight at this time of your life and you want to lose it. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, what I want to talk about is a really basic thing, is that as we age, we tend to get less active. And when we're less active, we're burning less calories. And that means if we're eating the same amount of food as we always have done, but we're burning less calories, we can still be putting on weight. So that's one thing to think about. Second thing to think about is that one of the changes through menopause is also to create more muscle loss, or to lose muscle mass at a faster rate than we would do ordinarily. Now, you lose muscle mass anyway if you're not using them. There's a real use it or lose it situation with your muscles, regardless of your age. So if you haven't done any activity that's really designed to build muscle for a number of years, and you're going through the perimenopause and menopause, then likelihood is that you're losing muscle at a faster rate than you ever would have done in any other time of your life, unless you're ill. So, and less muscle means that we burn less calories. So again, that's two things: less activity and less muscle mass is going to mean that we take less fuel to run. So we start to be more like a Mini than a Range Rover in terms of what we need for fuel. So if you're eating the same food, it's going to be over what you're eating. You're likelihood you're going to be eating more than you need, and that's going to cause you to put on weight. So they're two very simple factors that are also easy to remedy. Secondly, there are some things that change from a hormonal perspective as well. Estrogen is in decline going through the menopause and the perimenopause, but fat can make a weak source of estrogen. So as your ovarian estrogen is starting to decline, your body can start to try and lay down more fat, because fat can create estrogen itself. So it's a way of your body topping up those hormone levels. Okay, so that is something that can happen. Also, one of the things that can happen through the mood changes that you get from the menopause, people can feel a bit more down, they can feel a little bit lackluster in terms of, how they feel about life, a bit meh, just you don't really quite know, but you don't feel like yourself. That can be a time where people start to turn to food a little bit more to prop themselves up. But it could be that you're not sleeping well and you're lacking energy in the day, so you're having to eat more sugary things and drink more coffee. So there can be a few things that are causing you to eat more and use food as a coping strategy, either for tiredness or for just low mood and comfort eating. And that again can be a hidden source of calories that can really start to add up over time as well. And then lastly, one thing that is known about women in the menopause years is they can become less able to deal with carbohydrates in your body. So you're more likely to be turning those carbohydrates to fat. Okay, so if you've always had a high carb diet, you might have been fine on it. But if you're affected by this this change in insulin sensitivity, it could be that same diet is actually causing you to gain more fat, because you're less able to deal with carbohydrates. And that means any carbohydrates, from bread to jelly beans, okay, to alcohol. That's it's all going to be dealt with in the same way. So what can you do? Well, firstly, you really need to get back in touch with how many calories you need. And I hesitate a little bit there, because I know that when you're going through the menopause and this sort of age of your life, in your late 40s and early 50s, life can be really stressful. And the idea of having to count calories can be, quite frankly, just a ball ache. And I find a lot of resistance. A lot of people really don't want to do it. But the truth is, unless you do a little bit of counting, you have got no idea how many calories you're eating. It's been proven in research time and time again, people are lousy at guessing how many calories they're eating. People underestimate how many calories they're burning from exercise. No, they don't. They overestimate how many calories they're burning from exercise, and they underestimate how many calories they're eating. And a quick fix to that is just be open to the fact that to start off with, you need to start educating yourself around, one, how many calories you need each day, either to stay the same weight or to lose weight, and how many calories you're eating. So no way around that really to start off with. Secondly, you want to become a little bit more carb conscious. Modern diets, and it's through no fault of our own, it's how supermarkets and the media market to us, all convenience food is very carb heavy, and a lot of meals that we can have are very carb heavy. So you could be having cereal, toast for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, pasta for dinner. That's carbs, carbs, carbs. Becoming more carb aware is really about just recognising that you might not be able to eat as much of it as you used to as an overall proportion of your diet, and therefore you need to look at how you start to trim that back. Okay, by trimming that back though, you can make room to eat things, more protein, for example, which is really good for muscle and can really help with feeling full, feeling satisfied, and also losing weight as well. So that's a couple of things that you need to start to focus on around your diet. Secondly, is to think about move it or lose it from an exercise point of view. If you're not working your muscles and moving your body, those muscles will shrink even more. Your metabolism's going to go down. So this really is a time in your life where it's really important to start to think about how you stay active in your life. And a lot of people really start to feel like they don't want to do a lot of cardio, a lot of heavy stuff. If you're finding that you're having hot sweats and you don't deal with temperature, higher temperature a lot, it can be quite difficult to. You don't want to get hot and sweaty. Okay, there's lots of things that you can do that mean that you don't have to do that. Strength training, which I'm obviously an advocate of, is one of them as well. So that can be really effective. But you have to look at how you start to become more active in your life. The second thing to know is that recent studies have shown that when you do exercises for your legs and your lower body, it actually releases certain hormones in your body that can help get rid of belly fat. So doing things like lunges and squats are, fantastic as part of your strategy to help get rid of fat around the middle, which I know is one of the places that people going through the menopause start to notice the fat, and it drives them mad. So again, things you can really do to help to sort of target those areas that you're noticing changing more than others. So activity is really important. The other thing that is my key actually is being prepared to be prepared. And what I mean is you can't eat well if you're not prepared, if you don't have the food in your house and you have everything there and ready. And this is the thing that's my biggest thing since I've gone through the menopause, or going through it, I haven't gone through it yet, but is that you just have a lot of brain fog. Maybe just feel a little bit like overwhelmed, a little bit like the rabbit caught in the headlights sometimes, and you can't think straight. When you're in that mood, you just can't make decisions to eat well, have something healthy, count the calories, whatever it would be, because you just run out of the sort of cognitive capacity to do those things. And if you want to really get a hold on making some diet and exercise and lifestyle changes, you have to be prepared to take some time out for yourself when your brain's functioning well. And there'll be times in the day that work for you, and times in the day when you just know you can't think straight, you can do no more than watch TV. You have to be prepared to put some work in at that time to make yourself a bit of a plan and get yourself organised. And that is key. And that is probably one of the biggest things, I think, if you are in that menopausal stage where you do find that you just cognitively, you feel things aren't quite as sharp as they used to be. You have to get yourself a lot more organised. That's going to be key to helping you, have everything you need to make those changes with your lifestyle. Okay, so that's my top tips at the moment. Just hopefully that gives you a good idea about what's going on and what you can do about it. So don't despair, there's a lot you can do, and it's really about being smart, knowing how your body and your brain is changing, or the way you think is changing at this time, and then using that knowledge to put in certain plans and practices, strategies, etc., to work around it, so that you've got the energy and the organisation to eat well and move more. And there's a whole host of benefits that come with that. More energy, better sleep, better mood, okay. And that's what the Breakthrough Diet Club is all about. It's actually working around all of that to find a solution that's going to fit in your life, because it's going to make a huge difference, okay. So hope to see you soon. Thanks for this. Hope it gives you a good thing to think about and get started.